All aboard! Welcome back to the Just for Clicks podcast. With me this week is my wife, Alyssa, and we have a new member of the family with us this week as well.
We do.
His name is River.
He is asleep upstairs. Usually when we record the podcast, he is like with us because he was like, inside
Oh, that's so true.
my womb.
For so long.
But now he's like, outside the womb, but he's upstairs sleeping.
For 38 weeks, he was gestating.
37.
Only 37?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought we made it to 38.
No.
Wow.
He came out on like 37. That's
Right,
like he
right.
literally came out like the earliest he could have came out, like without having to go to like the hospital and everything.
We just barely made the cutoff point.
Yeah.
And so thank you, River. For,
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
holding
no.
out.
That was
crazy.
Did we talk about that like on our last podcast about
We may have.
Like when I was 35 weeks pregnant, we thought my water broke, but it didn't. But ever since that day, we were like worried that it was going to break too early. And my midwife was like, if it were to break before 37 weeks, she would have really wanted me to deliver at the hospital. Just because babies' lungs aren't fully developed until 37 weeks. So he could have possibly needed to be stay at the NICU and have like medical attention like right when he was born. So for 2 whole weeks we were like just doing everything we could to make sure I didn't go into labor and my water didn't break. I was like laying down for like 2 weeks straight basically. We didn't have sex for 2 weeks.
No intercourse.
No, nothing. Nothing for me. Just like
Alyssa was basically on bed rest.
yeah.
She might as well have just been in a TikTok coma.
No, literally. That's all I did for like 2 weeks. Like I like laid down in Luna's playroom, like on like our squishmallows, like our huge like jumbo squishmallows was like my resting spot for most of the day.
Which apparently are impossible to find.
Yeah.
Because like we got a bunch of like these large jumbo squishmallows from Costco for like $40 each. And then I tried to find more online because they ran out of the different designs at Costco. We got all of them pretty much before they went out of stock. And I couldn't find any other jumbos online. Like, it's crazy. Like, not on the website, not on eBay. So we might have some sort of like limited edition of
like gigantic squishmallows.
These things we're laying on might be worth like thousands of dollars because like they're like the new Beanie Babies.
Yeah.
I try to only buy like the jumbo ones because the other ones, I got a Baby Yoda one that's like a step smaller, but it's still pretty big. But I sleep on that every night recently. But yeah, no, I think all that really went a long way and helped out a lot because without doing all that stuff, I'm sure he would have came out sooner.
No, yeah, because like the night that I was like 36 weeks and 6 days, like that day I was kind of like, like we can start, relaxing about this. And I was like kind of doing more and, we were kind of just went back to normal that night. And then and then my water broke at like 4 a.m. when I was like just turned like 37 weeks.
It was it was crazy.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that.
Me neither.
I was like, oh, we're in the clear. Maybe we have another week or two of just like hanging out before River comes. Mm-hmm. Not the case, dude.
No. And because I had been on bed rest for like 2 weeks, I didn't like do a lot of the stuff that I wanted to do before the birth. Like I had lots of just like kind of like house maintenance like things I wanted to do. And I mean it's it's fine. Like
we did a lot of the stuff on your list. We just didn't do like every single thing.
Yeah. And then it's okay, like looking back on it, like everything worked out like the way it was like supposed to. And I think this time taught me even more. Like this birth taught me even more that like just kind of like let go of like expectations and stuff and like worries and stuff, because that's what I thought about when I was pregnant with Luna, or like when, because Luna came really soon, like unexpectedly. I wasn't expecting to give birth at like 37 weeks and 5 days with her. And at that time I was like, oh, like I have all this stuff I need to do that I didn't get to do. I felt like unprepared. And I was like, oh, this time I'm going to be super prepared. And then like I wasn't. Like, you know what I mean? It was like the same situation of it just happening really fast. And so, yeah, I just feel like I'm going to like just like release that whole like idea of like, you know, there's like all this stuff I have to do. Because it's like both times like everything was completely fine. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they were just like small things.
Yeah, like I wanted to mop the floors. I wanted to like have certain like blankets clean and stuff. Like,
Yeah, we had everything we needed.
yeah, we had our
Well in
birth
advance.
stuff. But yeah, my water broke at 4 a.m. On July 12th. And then I was like, from that point on, I was just like way too excited and like jittery to like sleep or like do anything else. Like I was like shaking. Like I remember like right after my water broke, like when we called my midwife, we called her at like 4 a.m. like woke her up and told her. And like I remember I was like jittering. I was like just like so like I was like, oh my god, like it's actually happening.
It kind of reminds me of like the night before, like when you're a kid and it's like the night before you go to like a theme park or something.
Yeah.
Or like the night before like a big vacation.
Yeah.
And you're like just really excited about everything, and then like when it starts happening, like when you go to the airport or when you go to like Disneyland or whatever, like you start to feel like really alert and really aware, and you're kind of just taking it all in. Like it's so out of like the routine, and it's such a special moment.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously it's, you know, way way more like intense than that, but you know that's just kind of the same kind of pit of your stomach kind of feeling
Yeah.
that you get when it's happening. And yeah, I'm just like really focused the whole time, and yeah, I think it went really well.
Yeah, it did. I woke up to use the bathroom, and like that's when I kind of felt like I guess my water broke like in my sleep, which was different because when my water broke when I gave birth to Luna, I was like awake when it happened, and like I like felt and like like it happened and everything. This time I was like asleep, and I woke up and I was like 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 I feel so kind of like just like wet, like what's going on, like just super like, you know, I kind of felt like something might have happened. But so I like stood up and like I was like, oh, definitely. Like I was like water like gushed out of me, and like I went into the shower.
Where specifically did the water gush out from you?
You know, my vagina.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I went in the shower at first, and then I called Forrest, and then I FaceTimed him, and I was like, oh my god, guess what? My water just broke.
I was just about to start a shot, and I was like really thankful that it wasn't like in the middle of the shot, because then the shot would have had to been left on, like, you know, what do you call it?
Hot.
Yeah, it would have to been a hot shot for like 2 weeks. So.
Can you check on River?
Oh yeah, let me check on River.
We have him on the baby monitor.
Because I was literally just about to start.
That's so funny.
Yeah, and then I was like, okay, well, this has got to take a back seat. And yeah, just been spending the last 2 weeks hanging out with Luna, watching her, so Alyssa can focus on River, and haven't been doing any work. And now we're just kind of starting to get back to normal routines with the new baby, learning how to adjust to life with two. Oh, he moved a little bit.
He's sweet.
Yeah. We got him on the camera right now. We can see him.
And then, yeah, I started having contractions at like 5 a.m., which was also different than with Luna. Because, like, with Luna, I feel like my water broke at like 3, and then I started having contractions at like noon or something, or like 9, like later in the morning. But yeah, this time it was just like right away, like an hour after my water broke, I started having contractions, and they were pretty manageable for like 7 hours. But I couldn't sleep through any of them. Like, I was like really just like excited. I didn't sleep for like a really long time. Like,
did you get any sleep at all?
no.
Wow.
I think I got maybe an hour, like from like 3 a.m. because I went to bed at like 3, and then when I woke up at 4 to go to the bathroom, that's when like I noticed like my water broke.
Wow.
So yeah, I got like 1 hour of sleep.
Didn't we try to sleep for a little bit?
Yeah, you slept, but I didn't sleep.
Yeah. How long did I sleep for?
I don't know. I was like so in the birth, like labor zone.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like not even present.
Yeah, I must have slept for like a couple hours probably.
Yeah.
Because like, yeah, I wanted to have like energy for like when the birth was actually happening.
Mm-hmm.
And then yeah, when did the midwife get here?
Yeah, our midwife Andy, she got there I think at like 1:30, or it was like might have been later.
Yeah.
It might have been like River was born at like 2:25 p.m. like in the afternoon.
Yeah, it's probably like 1:30. 1:30. I feel like she was here for maybe like at least 45 minutes or an hour before he came out.
Yeah.
It was kind of close though. I remember thinking like, and she said like she got pulled over on the way.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking like, oh, this is taking like longer than I thought it would from like where she was. Like I did the math and I was like, she's like 20 minutes late basically.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I wonder if she got pulled over.
I felt bad because I kind of felt like I should have, like, because I was texting her this whole time. I was like, she was always checking in on me and everything. But my contractions just felt like so manageable. Like, even though they were like pretty intense, like the way she said, she was like, when they're getting like so intense that like you have to like vocalize like through them, like you're like moaning, you know, you can't think about anything else. Like they're getting like like, you know what I mean? Like it's really intense. Like that's like when, you know, it's really serious and you should like call me or whatever. So yeah, like for like 7 hours.
The thing is though, like Alyssa internalizes a lot of her pain and stuff though. So it's like, I feel like you're like tougher than a lot of people when it comes to like this kind of thing. So
Thanks,
you're not like a good like person to set like the barometer.
Well, I also was trying to be like particularly strong because Luna, my daughter, was there the whole time and like saw it, and I didn't want to like freak her out. That was like just kind of my goal, like my one concern, like my whole pregnancy, and like kind of every time I would think about like, you know, the birth, was like my goal was just to like not like freak Luna out. You know what I mean? Like I was like, I need to be strong for Luna, and like I think that it did help. Like I could think about her while I was having a contraction, and it would like, you know, distract me from the pain, or like, you know, remind me of like her birth and stuff. You know, like giving birth, like having contractions and stuff, it's like all like a mind thing. Like, you know what I mean? It's like mind over matter, and if you can kind of like just, yeah, like think of like a really good tip I learned was just like think about like your baby, and like every time you have a contraction, like you're like it's bringing you closer to like meeting your baby. Like, you know what I mean? Like think about it like that, like, because it's true, like that's exactly what's happening. Like your body's like opening up.
It's not something that's happening to you, it's something that's happening for you.
Yeah, exactly. And it's you doing it, like it's your body. Like it's not, yeah, exactly. Like and yeah, I like another thing I liked to think about was like when it feels like unbearable, it's like just remember, like, it's not unbearable because, like, you're, like, literally bearing it, like, right now. Like, you know, like, you're doing it. Like, you're, like...
Yeah, you're bearing it.
Yeah, like, if it was unbearable, like, you wouldn't be, like, conscious. Like, you would, like, pass out or, like, die or something.
Yeah.
But, like, you know.
I feel like so many women are so afraid of giving a natural birth. Like, a lot of them want the epidural and want drugs pumped into their system so that they don't feel the birth. But, like, I think when people like you or, like, Keshan's wife, Mina, do it, it's, like, really inspiring to other couples and other women who feel like, oh, like, if they can do it, so can I, kind of thing.
Yeah, that's basically, like a big part of, like, why I always, like, want to talk about birth and stuff, and, like, I always post about birth on my Instagram, is because I want people to feel like it's an option or, like, they can do it and kind of see it as, like, an empowering thing and not, like, a scary thing. I think it's kind of like a rite of passage almost or something, like, for women, and, like, it's, like, symbolic and metaphorical for just, like, parenthood. I feel like having to, like, let go and just, like, completely, like, surrender to, like, the process of birth. I feel like it's a good metaphor for just, like, having to surrender to, like, you know, surrender your expectations or, like, let go of, like, certain things and stuff, like, when you become a parent. But yeah.
Yeah, definitely. If you try to fight it, it's going to make it a lot worse for you.
Yeah, literally. It is. Like, if you try to, like, run away from, like, the pain, like, while it's happening, like, if you tense up, it's, like, it's way more painful. Like, you really just have to, like, try to, like, imagine yourself as, like, a cooked noodle or something, like, just, like a piece of spaghetti, like, just, like, completely, like, limp, like, just, like, don't tense, just, like, let your body, like, open and, like, do the work for you.
How long was labor from the time your water broke till the time he came out?
It was 9 hours.
How long was Luna's?
Hers was 12 hours. Well, from the time my water broke with Luna to when she came out, I think it was like 17 hours, but I was
this one felt like a lot shorter.
But I was having contractions for 12 hours with Luna, and this time I was having contractions for, like, 9 hours.
Your body was ready to go. It was like, I've done this before, I'm ready.
Yeah.
River was ready.
He was.
Oh yeah, you should talk about your placenta.
Yeah. So yeah, I was, like,
Because that's pretty miraculous, I feel like.
Yeah, that was, like, after we found out about that after the birth, but, like, I just want to say, like, so yeah, for, like, 7 hours I was, like, having, like, pretty manageable contractions, and then my midwife was like, oh, like, you know, I'm gonna take a nap, because, like, she didn't, like, because she was saying, like, oh, like, you guys sounded so chill on the phone or whatever, or, like, you sound so chill, like, I thought I could take a nap or whatever. She's like, I'm gonna take a nap, maybe you could take, like, a shower or a bath to, like, relax you or whatever. And so, like, I got in the shower, like, I took a really hot shower, and in my head I'm thinking, like, oh, like, this is gonna, like, distract me from, like, the pain of contractions. And, like, it made after I took while I was in the shower, like, my contractions got, like, way worse, and then from then on it was just like no, like, almost, like, no breaks of just, like, super super intense, like, really bad contractions. And that's when
she
I
started really
her.
getting, like, in the zone.
Yeah, and then I felt the urge to push while I was in the shower, and I was like, oh.
I feel like the midwives always, like, barely make it to the
Yeah.
birth because you just are so quick with your labors.
Yeah.
That they're not used to that, and they think they have a lot more time than they really do. So yeah, and I think now, you know, if we deliver with Andy or Jen again next time, then they'll be kind of clued into that.
Well, like, they knew about that because, like, we told them, and, like, they were mindful of that, but I think I underestimate, like, how much, like, how intense it is until it's, like, until it's literally, like, oh shit, like,
it's right on top of you.
Yeah. Because, yeah, like, I would just hate for her to, like, come out and then just, like, kind of, like, wait around for, like, hours and stuff.
That's kind of like their job, though, you know?
Yeah, but I just kind of don't think it's like to that point yet, I guess.
Right.
But yeah, I called her and I was like I feel the urge to push. um it's like really good. It's really bad. And then yeah, like when she got here, she was like,
she was like rushing to set everything up.
Yeah.
She was like opening boxes and pulling things out, and I was like assisting her. And yeah, she didn't know like how quick it was. She was like, oh wow, he's coming. And then I didn't even really realize like how quick it was either, because like I knew you were gonna be delivering soon, but like I thought maybe you're gonna push for another like 30 minutes or an hour, like last time, kind of like. But he came really quick, and he was like already coming out basically. Like
yeah, because
it was over before we knew it.
To push, but like you guys, like I literally cannot emphasize enough. Like my favorite part of giving birth is like pushing. Like one of the biggest things I don't really understand about like a lot of people who do decide to get an epidural is that they'll labor like at home or like without an epidural, like for a really long time, like until they're like, in transition, like getting the really intense contractions, and then like while they're pushing. And I'm just like I would like to have been numb from like the contractions, but like feel the pushing, like if that makes sense, because like the pushing is like, it feels so good. Like it's like such like a huge relief, because like you're still having the contractions, but it's like now it's kind of like, like when a contraction comes, like you, like your body just like makes you push, or like really wants you to push. And so when you do, it just feels so satisfying, and you're like not just kind of like having to just like endure the contractions anymore. Like you're actually can like do something about like how you're feeling. Like, you know what I mean? And it feels so good. And like, yeah, I love like and you kind of know that you're like nearing the end of it too. Like, like that like the baby's like coming out, and like, you're about to meet your baby, and like you're not gonna have to be in like labor anymore. Like, you know what I mean? Like you kind of know like you're not gonna have to feel like another one of those like horrible like really strong contractions. And like yeah, it was crazy. Like I was like just a lot more aware this time too, because when I was pushing Luna out, I could feel like what was going on, but I just like wasn't sure, like, you know what I mean, because it was my first time. So I was like, I had no clue, like, oh, like how fast it happened, or like how fast it was happening. I just was like doing kind of instinctual, like just like what my body was like telling me to do. But this time I was doing the same thing, like doing what my body wanted me to do. But I could tell like, oh, like his head is like coming out of like my cervix, like right now, like, you know what I mean?
Wow.
Like, and that was really cool. And then yeah, like once his head was like out of my cervix, it's like, okay, now you have to push it out of your like actual like vagina. And then it was funny because like after his head came out, like you guys were like, oh my god, like his head's out. And it's like after his head was out, like I just kind of stopped feeling the urge to push, because like the head's like the heaviest part, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like that's what's creating all the pressure down there, like to push. And I remember I was
he
just
burst
kind of
out like a I don't know, it was like a lot of water and red blood and like wetness, like it came out with him, like kind of like an explosion of goo. Like it was pretty epic.
Yeah.
Like I feel like when Luna came out, it was like such a tight squeeze. Like her head was really big, and she was like a lot bigger than River, and you'd never done it before. So like it was like everything was so constricted. But when he came out, he almost like kind of popped out, like a juicy like explosion, like a splash.
Yeah. Yeah, I was also like on my hands and knees this time giving birth to River, which was funny just because like when I gave birth to Luna, I gave birth like laying on my side, and like Forrest like held up one of my legs, but this time like it was literally like unbearable to lay down, like while I was in labor, like having contractions. Like because I kind of thought like, oh, like I would want to lay down and like be comfortable, but this time I like it like I had to be like standing up, or like I had to like move my body a lot. Like I was like swaying a lot, like back and forth. And yeah, even when I was like on my hands and knees, I just had to be like constantly like rocking back and forth. Like if I stayed still, like during a contraction, it was like way more painful. I don't know why necessarily, but so yeah, I gave birth like on my hands and knees, and yeah, Forrest caught River as he came out.
Yeah, I caught him, and then like he was kind of just like his head was. I was just holding his head for a minute. I was like, baby, you have to keep pushing.
Oh yeah.
You kind of like were like, oh, he's out. I'm like, well, but you still have to push the rest of his body out because like you're like, can you just like pull him?
Yeah.
And I was like, I can, but I don't want to like break his head.
No,
so
yeah.
I was like, why don't you like just push a little bit more? And then I was able to like kind of grab his shoulders once the shoulders were out, and he slipped right out after that.
Yeah,
it's like the head and the shoulders, and then the rest is like.
Yeah, like after his head came out, yeah, I was kind of I just stopped feeling the urge to push. I was kind of just like, waiting for him to just kind of like fall out, I guess.
Right.
But then like
you gotta kind of the shoulders aren't as bad, but you kind of gotta push through the shoulders as well.
Yeah, and then I was just like not really thinking, so I was like, can you pull him out? I don't know why I said that. That would have like I'm glad you guys didn't do that because that's like not smart.
No, you can kind of pull them out if you get like a grip on their side, like on their shoulders or whatever.
Yeah,
but like you can't pull by the head.
It was probably just like easier like for everybody, including poor little River.
Yeah.
If I just pushed him out, which I did.
Yeah, and then he came out and like his umbilical cord was like still like inside you a lot. Like there's still like like it was like a short cord. So like I kind of pulled out some more of like the umbilical cord so I could like loop him around and give him to you because like your like legs were in the way and I was like trying to like not get his cord like tangled in your feet and so I had to like kind of like grab him and like navigate him around your leg and like make sure the cord was not getting wrapped in your foot and then handed him to you so he could
I remember like
be on your chest.
Andy was saying like I remember Andy said something like, oh, like hand him to Alyssa like from underneath her, from through her like legs, like as if like I was gonna hold him like while I was still on like my hands and knees. But like after I like pushed him out, like after he was out, like I just really wanted to like lay down.
Yeah.
Like and I said that I was like, can I lay down? And like Andy
yeah, so
was like, yeah.
So you kind of had to like pivot and like flip your body. So I had to like make sure you didn't like kick River. So I was like kind of protecting him and like, but also not getting the cord like tangled around your feet.
I was like being mindful of like not kicking River like while I was laying down. Because I knew he was still like attached to me because I saw like the placenta in me.
Yeah.
But then I laid down, or like I like sat down, kind of like propped up on a squishmallow. It's so funny we're like using these like these like rare like huge squishmallows as like pillows and stuff.
Yeah, the aftermarket value is like huge. Like we bought them for like 40, and like I think they like sell on eBay now for like 80. That's like 100%
like
increase.
We could be selling them and making money, but we're like using them as like.
And like the ones we have, they're not even on eBay. Like they're nowhere to be found. I don't know. Like they must be worth something. But no, they're too valuable to us because they're so comfy.
Yeah. So we
would never sell.
I sat down and like leaned back on like the big squishmallow, and then Forrest handed River to me, and yeah. And
then she was checking out your placenta, and she's like, "This is the most remarkable placenta I've ever seen."
Oh yeah, my
like, why?
placenta was crazy. Apparently,
she's like, "There's like 3 different insane, incredible things with this placenta that I've never seen before, or like, there's like 3 different things that are like completely remarkable about this placenta." And she like went in to like explain it, but I didn't really like comprehend it at the time. But we got some like verification. We got some like kind of clarification on it later.
Yeah, our other midwife, Jen, who she was like our midwife for most of the time I was pregnant, but she was on vacation while the birth was happening.
Yeah, she was the one that we were planning on having the birth with, but we weren't sure if her vacation was gonna get in the way, and it did because he came so early.
Yeah.
If he had waited like another week, she would have been our midwife at the birth.
Yeah, but we got to. Andy attended our birth, and she's awesome too.
Yeah, she was great.
Yeah, everything was amazing. But yeah, so Jen came over to our house yesterday, to do his like 2-week visit, because after you give birth, they have like a 1 day, like a 24 hours after birth, and then like a 3 day, and then 1 week, and then like 2 weeks. And I think there's like 4 weeks, and then like I don't know. There's like a lot more visits than after just like
some checkups and
stuff. Checkups for him and for me. But yeah, she came over yesterday and she like explained that I had
Vasa previa.
Yeah, I had Vasa previa, and I had the main thing that I had was like a velamentous cord insertion, which I guess is like, so I guess normally like a normal placenta you would have. I don't exactly know what was going on.
The details are still a little bit foggy to me too.
But
I'm not a doctor.
They took pictures of my placenta, and apparently
it's gonna be in a museum somewhere.
Andy said that was the first placenta like that she had ever seen in like real life. Like,
yeah. So yeah, apparently
it's
like
really, really rare.
It could have caused some pretty serious complications, and it could have led to River's death or even Alyssa's death if the bleeding couldn't have been controlled. But he came out at just the right time, like something about the pregnancy, like he sensed it, and he came out in just the right way to where it wasn't a problem.
That if my water had broke, if like the sac of water broke, even just like a centimeter like closer to any of like the blood vessels like in the placenta, that it the reason why it could have been fatal to us is because I could have like had uncontrollable like bleeding, and I could have been like rushed to the ambulance, like I probably would have like survived, but it would have been like a really traumatic like ambulance, like hospital, like ER,
it's basically like a gunshot wound at that point.
Yeah.
But
yeah, so
that didn't happen.
Yeah, Jen said that it happened to her sister like 13 years ago or something, and she had to go to the ambulance, and her and the baby both like survived. But
that's good.
So yeah, we probably could have survived too, but.
And the good thing about it too is like it's not like, oh, because it happens one time you're like more likely to have it again, like on the next pregnancy. It's more just like the same odds every single pregnancy for every single woman.
Yeah, and
like,
it's really like
it's really rare.
Like she was literally like, you guys should literally go like buy a lottery ticket like right now, like with how like rare that was. Like
it's interesting. But her sister had it too.
Yeah, but like that's one person, and like they have like attended like hundreds of births.
Yeah.
And like this is the first one that like they've seen in like a client, or the first one Andy said that she saw. Right.
But yeah, I'm glad he came out the way he did, and when he did, it all worked out.
Yeah, and if we had known about that, like that I had that placenta problem, they would have wanted me to deliver at the hospital, like, because I would have been considered like high risk at that point.
Right.
But since we didn't know and everything just worked out exactly perfectly, I got to give birth at home. I didn't have to worry about that.
Yeah, we did ultrasounds and stuff, and we went to like the doctors and stuff to get checked up on. But like I guess there's like extra tests you can do to like check the placenta itself. So maybe next pregnancy we'll like look into that and see if we can get those extra tests done.
Yeah, you can get like a really detailed ultrasound of the placenta. Like I guess like unusual ultrasound, just because it's so rare that anything like this would even happen. They just like check where the placenta is, like in your uterus. Like they don't really look at it, in like detail. So yeah, I guess maybe next time we can ask our ultrasound technician to get a real good look at the placenta and everything.
I wonder if we could grow our next baby in like a lab tube or like a pod that we keep in our bedroom.
Yeah. And
we'll just like feed him like fish food, kind of like as he grows, and then you won't have to deal with like all this pregnancy stuff.
No, I like pregnancy and birth and everything. I don't like like the very, very end of pregnancy.
Yeah, the first like 6 months are chill.
Yeah.
But like after that, like, especially like the last month or two.
I just start to feel
It's rough.
so like disgusting. Like
Alyssa's self-confidence plummets.
no, literally.
She just says laying around all day, asking me to get her crumble over and over again, or some sort of like sweet confection. And I'm like, no, it's not good for the baby. I think I did get you some a couple times.
You got me crumble a lot when I was like on bed rest, because I literally couldn't.
I gained like 10 pounds.
I couldn't do anything. Like I couldn't take walks. We couldn't have sex. I literally couldn't. I was even afraid to like have like orgasms, because like that can cause labor.
Yeah, it can. Pretty much anything can cause labor, so it's best just to literally do nothing.
So for 2 weeks, I was literally just like celibate, like just like laying around. Like I couldn't do like literally anything to like distract myself.
You're an incel for 2 weeks.
I was. It was just like fucked up.
You started going down conspiracy theory rabbit holes on Reddit. Just kidding. I mean, did you?
No, you're right. I was basically just in like a TikTok coma.
Yeah.
I just
Mostly
like
TikTok.
I couldn't really even play with Luna. Like I would hang out with Luna a lot in her playroom while she played, and she would just like bring me books to read to her. That was like all I could really do with Luna. Yeah, I was like afraid to lift her like too much. Like I would lift her if I had to, to like put her in the bath or something.
So now, like, it's been 2 weeks since the birth, and we still can't have sex.
Yeah.
Because
we had sex one time because we were like, it's like close enough to 37 weeks. Like if my water broke right now, like I wouldn't be like giving birth until I was, 37 weeks. And so we did
the day before
like
River.
A couple hours before my water broke.
Yeah, the day before River was born. Yeah.
And then now we're back to being celibate, but at least I can like have orgasms.
Yeah.
Which is like a huge step up.
It's a huge step up. Yeah.
But so yeah, they say you should wait like 6 weeks to have sex, but our midwife said we could do it like a few days after my like postpartum bleeding stops, because if you guys didn't know, like when you give birth, after you give birth and you push the placenta out, the placenta like leaves like a huge wound like inside your uterus. And so if you have sex, like obviously also your vagina just like feels really bad because you pushed a whole baby out, so you don't really want to have sex. But if you did like too soon, like you're opening yourself up to like getting infections like in your like uterus, like where the wound is from the placenta, and so you bleed like for a while like the placenta heals, or like the wound from the placenta heals. And so like once you stop bleeding, that's kind of like a sign that like it's all healed up and everything. So she said that like a few days after I stopped bleeding, and I'm pretty much like I haven't really bled that much today.
That's good.
And yeah, that's pretty fast, because with Luna like I bled for like a really long time, like the full 6 weeks.
Yeah, everything about this second pregnancy has just been like faster.
And my vagina like never felt like that bad after like this birth, because River is so much smaller. That's another thing with like the placenta thing, is that River was like slightly had mild like growth restriction, because with this placenta situation, like it was probably like keeping nutrients from him, or it wasn't as easy for him to get the nutrients from the placenta
for like the last couple weeks, she said.
Yeah.
So
he
was like fine for the most of the pregnancy, but in the last few weeks like he wasn't getting everything he needed, so like most of the nutrients, or the majority, would go to his brain, because like when there's not enough being supplied, the body defaults to developing the brain first, and then the body will catch up later. Mm-hmm. So his body's like a little bit smaller, so he has some catching up to do.
Yeah, but she says that he should just catch up like as if just like be normal now, basically,
Yeah.
from now on. But because at his like 20-week anatomy scan, like when I was 20 weeks pregnant, everything looked healthy. Like he didn't look like he was having any problems or like deficiencies. So yeah, it probably just affected his kind of like growing like fat on his body and stuff.
Like the size of his chest, that kind of thing was like slightly smaller than it would have been preferred to be.
Yeah, and he was only 6 pounds, and we were kind of thinking, because Luna was 8 pounds when she was born, so I spent like my whole pregnancy assuming that River was gonna be even bigger, like 9 pounds or 10 pounds. So yeah, he was only 6 pounds. So yeah, that was also
He was so small when he came out.
Yeah.
He's still small, but like he's definitely gained some weight and some height since he came out.
Yeah,
but when he first came out, he was teeny tiny.
We didn't even buy any like newborn size like boy clothes, because I was just thinking like, oh, like he's gonna like not even fit these, because Luna barely fit like newborn sizes when she first came out.
Yeah.
So I was thinking like, oh, like he's gonna be even bigger than Luna.
They like the way they like size and like detail the sizing on these clothing like options. I feel like it's a conspiracy because they want you to buy more, because they consistently like don't line up with like Luna's age.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, like this is for 6 to 8 months, but she'll fit into that when she's like 3 months.
Yeah.
And then it's always like, it's always like that. So there's always some sort of like discrepancy, and it's like, I don't know. I feel like it's a scam.
Luna was just like really chunky from like the moment she was born.
I guess Luna's just like tall.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's in like the high percentile of height.
So yeah, River should be completely fine and like catch up with his growth.
Yeah, he'll be good. He's super cute.
He is. He's adorable.
He's amazing.
He's perfect.
He's been sleeping so much, but more recently he's been more alert throughout the day and have his eyes open.
Yeah, newborns are really easy, like because they literally just sleep. That's it. Like 90% of the day.
They just need sleep, and they need booba. They need nutrients through their mother's milk, and then that's pretty much it.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta change the diaper. When he poops, it's really like loud. It sounds like a cartoon sound effect. It goes.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like someone stepped in a bear trap. It's like it's a funny sound. It doesn't sound real, but they're kind of just like kind of splats.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, oh, you definitely can't miss that. When he goes to poo.
Mm-hmm.
And he pees like 12 times a day. So,
yeah, that's really good though. That's
that's healthy.
That's a good sign that he's like eating enough. Yeah, the first few days, like I kind of have this like I don't like how people constantly ask like midwives or like pediatricians and stuff ask like how is he eating, like he should be eating like this long for this whatever, like the first like few days, because it's like I had this experience with Luna too. It's like it takes a couple days for them to like get into like the groove of like breastfeeding.
Mm-hmm.
And they often just like fall asleep at the boob, and like I just like don't. And people are always asking like, oh, like how long do they nurse for, or like does like he eat like from both sides, like for 30 minutes on both sides? And it's like it's just kind of like a lot of pressure,
well, they want to make sure that he's getting everything he needs.
I think like a better indication of that would just be like how often is he like peeing and pooping.
Yeah, that's true too.
Because like that is like if he's peeing and pooping, like that's a sign that he's like getting like eating and like drinking enough.
Right. Right.
So it's kind of just like, because Luna also is this way where she would like eat from one boob for like 20 minutes and then like sleep and then like wake up an hour later and then eat from the other boob. But like when you talk to like the pediatrician or whatever, they're kind of like, oh, like he needs to be eating from like both sides, like for like at least like 30 minutes each side. And it's kind of just like, why? Like if he's like getting enough, like if he has enough like wet and poopy diapers and he's like gaining weight. And then and then like a few days he'll go and then he'll like just eat like constantly and just be constantly wanting the boob. Like he kind of like ebbs and flows like his like appetite, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
You have a mother's intuition, so you know what's best for him.
Like,
and you know,
I just feel like it kind of like, especially when you're like a first time mom, because like this time I kind of like knew what to expect and I wasn't really that worried about it. But yeah, like especially when you're like a first time mom, like you're kind of like, oh, like am I doing this right? Like is my baby gonna be okay? Like, you know what I mean? And like it's just like not super helpful to have someone like putting like a really strict like time
micromanage you.
Yeah, like time limit on it, like, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
But yeah, River eats super well. You can tell I can tell he's like getting a lot of milk.
Yeah, he looks good. He looked a little bit jaundiced like when he first came out.
Yeah.
But he got over that pretty quick and he looks good now. He's like looking chunkier, more filled out.
Yeah, he looks like Luna.
Mm-hmm.
I think he.
Yeah, I never expect my kids to be like as cute as they are. Like I know they're gonna be cute, but the same thing happened with Luna, where like she came out and after a few days, I'm like, wow, she's just the most like incredible, beautiful baby girl I've ever seen. And then same with River. It's like you can't really like, you know, imagine what they're gonna look like. Your imagination doesn't do it justice. So you kind of just have to see it to believe it. But he's incredible. Yeah, he's got like this nice little like cleft chin. That I really
yeah,
enjoy.
it's a little chin dimple.
Little
super
chin dimple.
Cute.
It's really cute.
His head is like perfectly shaped.
He's got a really nicely shaped, like kind of boxier head than Luna. Like Luna's head's more like round. His head's a little more like I don't know, just like kind of like more masculine, I guess, kind of. And yeah, he's just like a cute little chicken nugget. Like I'm excited to see like him interact more with Luna because she wants to play with him like right away.
God,
she gives him like toys
cute.
and like she tries to like she gives him like 300 kisses a day and trying to interact with him, like try to give him books and stuff, and it's like he can't do anything right now.
She's like loved him since like the second he came out. Like the whole time he was like in the womb, like I was pregnant, like she would always kiss my belly, and I kind of always had this feeling that she like knew that like he was in there. And yeah, like right when he came out, she was immediately like wanting to give him kisses, and like she's asking
she
to
definitely
hold him.
knew. There's something sort of instinctual experience that kicked in. Like I mean, she couldn't like explain it because she can't talk yet, but she like knew.
Yeah, I think so too. Like, because she would always like pat my belly, and now she pats him. Like, she does this cute thing. She like puts her hand like on him, like on his back, or like on his belly, whatever, and like gives him like little pats.
Yeah,
and like that's what she used to do to my belly. And yeah, she kisses him.
Whenever you would take your belly out, like if her belly was like under clothing and you take it out, she'd get like excited and like run over to it and give it kisses and pats. And then yeah, she does the same thing whenever she sees River. Like if she sees him, then she's like instantly like attracted, and wants to like move towards him. And sometimes she moves a little bit too rambunctiously, or she'll run and trip, and like you have to make sure she doesn't bash her head into his. Or
yeah, we've had to like save River.
Yeah, we gotta kind of you have to keep sort of a protective zone sphere around the baby, because Luna's just at that stage where she's like really violent and radical and wild.
It's not on purpose though.
No,
Luna's like
there's no malice behind it.
Yeah.
It's just like she's clumsy.
Yeah.
Yeah, she gets overexcited, and then she like, tries to walk on the bed and trips, and she doesn't understand her power.
Yeah. But yeah, every morning when she like sees River for the first time, she runs over and like gives him kisses. And yeah, she always wants to hold him.
She busted my lip open earlier
tonight.
tonight.
Oh my god, yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, she was like watching we were watching Turning Red, the new Pixar movie, on her iPad together, as like we went, as I've been like putting her to sleep every night by like going and do her whole bath time and toothbrush and bedtime routine, and then we watch a movie together, and she falls asleep, and she was being just really like cranky tonight. Like most of the time she just like drifts off to sleep and I can sneak out. It's pretty easy, but this tonight she was like trying to like get out of the room. I'm like, no, it's bedtime, we're going to bed, this is our wind down time. And I'd put her back in bed, and she'd like want to hold the iPad. I'm like, no, you can't hold the iPad. Like, let me hold it because you're trying to go. I'm trying to get her to go to bed, and she was just kept getting up, and then she literally like lifts her head up to like get closer to the iPad, and she like pivots and just drops her entire skull, like drops all the weight immediately like onto my face and like busts my chin. I'm like bleeding everywhere. It was like, yeah, she's just getting so much more violent. It's so funny.
Yeah, when she gets cranky, it's like really hard to control her.
Yeah.
And like these last 2 weeks, like, because after you give birth, you need time to heal. You shouldn't really be doing anything. You should basically just be laying down and nursing the baby. So Forrest has been like, he took a break from work, and he's just been like giving all his attention and taking care of Luna.
Make her like 3 or 4 smoothies a day.
And I feel
fun.
like in these last 2 weeks, like, she has just grown like so much. Like,
it's the smoothies, man.
I couldn't tell if it was just like
it's that yogurt I put in it.
I couldn't tell if it was just because I've just been taking care of River, who is literally like 6 pounds.
Yeah, you have a lot more like context now to how big she actually is.
Or
because
if
she's so
it was
tiny.
like because she actually grew. But yeah, I've been like changing her diapers for like the past 2 days and like giving her baths and stuff, and like I was like, oh my god, like she's like huge.
She's massive. Yeah. As far as toddlers go.
So yeah, when she's like cranky, she's like, it's really difficult to like control her.
Yeah,
like,
you have to kind of like get her mind reoriented, because like she'll focus on something. Like if she doesn't get exactly what she wants, she'll just start freaking out and having a tantrum, and you have to be like do the whole like magician thing, like kind of like distract, kind of like, oh, what's this,
mm-hmm.
kind of get her excited about something else and make her lose focus on whatever she was sad about.
mm-hmm.
But yeah, sometimes it'll just go on for a long time, and no matter what you do, she's just like determined to be sad, and it's just like, dang, I wish I could do something to help her.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just part of childhood and growing up.
It's really sweet because like I kind of was like, I wasn't ever really that worried about Luna being jealous of River, but that was kind of a reason why I wanted to wean her from the boob before he was born.
That was a really good decision,
because I was worried that she might get jealous over that, but she hasn't shown any signs of like jealousy at all. Like, she just like loves him and just like always wants to be close to him and like hold him and kiss him and stuff.
Yeah, she's been super sweet.
Yeah, she's a really, really good big sister.
I noticed she's been playing with her doll a lot more.
Yeah.
Like, she'll bring her doll like to her naps with her, because sometimes she naps during the middle of the day for like an hour or two. And we just got this big bean bag.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's great. It's like huge. It's like it can fit all 3 of us very easily. And she gets in it sometimes to take her naps, and she'll bring her baby with her and fall asleep with her baby in her arms. It's really cute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a huge sweetheart. She's just like amazing. She's an angel. River is really lucky to have her.
Oh yeah, they're gonna be good friends. And
I know.
I like how they're really close in age too.
Yeah.
They can really relate to each other.
Mm-hmm.
And Luna can show him the ropes.
Yeah.
She can show him everything she knows.
Mm-hmm.
He'll probably develop faster in terms of like mobility and speech and all that stuff, because
Of
her, and he has someone to base off of.
Yeah.
A peer.
We were kind of thinking like, yeah, that's a good point. We were talking the other day about how it's like, oh, it's kind of sad that, like your first kid gets you like just like all your attention, like both you and your spouse's like all attention and everything. And so that kind of might seem like they just have like an immediate like advantage. But every situation is different. Like, when Luna was newborn, she only had me and Forrest, like, in her like immediate like nuclear family. But now River has, me, Forrest, and Luna,
Right.
like a big sister, which is like really cool. Like, he has 3 people who like love him like in his like household, so that's really cool. And
Yeah, the more the merrier.
Yeah.
Around here, that's what I say.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially now we know Luna can really, now we know Alyssa can really make him good. She's really good at making babies. it would be a crime not to have more. So we're gonna get pregnant here pretty soon again, I think.
Well, I mean, we don't really believe
Or
in, like,
you're gonna get pregnant. I'm not gonna get pregnant.
we don't believe in, like, birth control, really.
No.
So, but we didn't use any birth control after we had Luna.
We believe in like natural family planning.
Yeah.
Like tracking your cycle, being responsible if you're not trying to have a kid. But yeah, like with this situation, like, you know,
yeah,
I
our
just think,
situation is just like unnecessary because, like, we're, you know.
yeah, I think I'm happy. I'm doing well enough to where I can support a family, and yeah, we're in a really fortunate position.
But breastfeeding is just kind of like natural birth control because
Right.
we didn't do any sort of like family planning situation like after we had Luna, and it took us like a whole year to get pregnant again.
Yeah, just because your body's not like ready for it yet, because it's still focusing on making breast milk.
Your body like knows, like, while you're breastfeeding for like the first year after you have a baby, like if you breastfeed, you have like it's like 98% like effective or something, like birth control, just because your body like knows that you need to be like taking care of like this baby, so
Right.
you don't ovulate, which I think is really cool.
That is
It's,
really
like,
cool. Your
miraculous.
body gives you a little break.
Yeah.
Because, like, yeah, especially back in the day, like when women were just like, you know, raped during raids, and, you know, random men would just like have sex with them like all the time. You know, that was just kind of the way of life. Then it was like good that like they couldn't just get pregnant like right away. Like it's like, because then they would have like so many babies and they couldn't take care of them. So your body naturally develops this kind of like, you know, thing to like give you time to like raise the first baby before you're able to get pregnant again. And now we live in like civilized society where, like, you know, women have to give like permission and everything. And you know, we have like doctors and you know, medical. We're really lucky to be living in this time.
Oh, definitely.
But, yeah,
like, this is like the best time.
It's kind of like a holdover from an older era, and your body just knows what to do. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. So yeah, we probably have at least like a year, but like before we have to worry about another baby or another pregnancy.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not like, you know, actually wanting to get pregnant right away. I was just joking, but if we did, I'd be totally open for it and down, obviously.
Yeah.
But if we didn't too, that'd be kind of, if we waited a couple of years, or I mean, I don't want to wait more than like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, I always wanted my kids to just like be really close in age.
Yeah, but like, yeah, I'm not like rushing to try to get it done, and I'm not really doing much to like prevent it either. So
yeah,
it's just kind of whatever happens, and
trust the universe.
we'll trust we'll trust the process, and
yeah.
Yeah, but I do want to have a big family. Like, I want to have like 5 kids or more.
I used to think that I kind of didn't want to be pregnant after I was 30 because especially after 35, you kind of start.
Yeah, the earlier you can have your family, the better.
Like health risks start to arise. And you know, I just feel so great like after both of my births, like I feel like just like pretty much back to normal already. I didn't get any like stretch marks. My like belly has like gone down a lot. Like I've just like, I feel like most of my body looks like normal again, like except like, you know, my belly, but it looks a lot better. And like I just feel like that's just because I'm like young, like, you know what I mean, like,
yeah, possibly.
I recover faster.
You're also just like, you might just be like a natural birth giver, you know. Your body's just like really in tune for it. Like some people are just better at it than others.
I mean, I think like most like young mothers I like follow and stuff, like they just like, I don't really necessarily like the term like snap back or whatever, but like they do just kind of like naturally snap back like sooner, like without like much effort. Because I was looking at pictures of myself like after I gave birth to Luna, like when I was like 6 months like postpartum, and it's like I look like, and I wasn't doing anything special, like I wasn't really exercising or like dieting at that time, and like I feel like I look like pretty much normal, like just from
most people don't assume you're a mom.
Yeah, like
They're like, oh, whose baby is that? Like they think you're like the babysitter or some shit.
Yeah, people have asked me like if
That's
I'm
funny.
the babysitter or if like that's my little sister. Or I'm like, no, that's my daughter.
They're like, what?
well, my face just like looks young too.
Excuse me?
I look like I'm like 16 or something.
Do we need to call
heard.
someone? Yeah.
But yeah, I'm 22. So yeah, I just kind of like.
You're a straight up mother of 2.
I am.
It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You've accomplished so much in such a short time.
I know, it's great.
Wow.
I love being a mom. It's like the best. This is what I wanted. Like this is exactly like I just found myself in like just like the exact like situation I like wanted to be in.
Hell yeah.
Like I like married the love of my life, and he gave me 2 children before like by the age of 22. That's
Sick.
pretty lit.
Yeah.
And I like how you work from home too. Like that wasn't necessarily like a part of my like what I thought of as like my dream life, but like it's like way cooler. It's like it's super lit that you can just kind of like
Working from home is the best.
yeah, Forrest just like can periodically take breaks and come like hang out with us, and he sets his own schedule, so yeah, you can take like 2 weeks off of work to help me
Yeah.
while I heal from birth.
I'm a
and stuff.
workaholic, so it's like hard for me to like not do any, productive money making stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But these last 2 weeks have been really like fun and really chill, and like I haven't felt like, oh, like I really want to get back to work, like other than just like, yeah, like I want to keep making money and stuff. But like I'm like I got a really good like appreciation for like the job you do every day, and like because I did it for 2 weeks, and like I'm just like really thankful for everything that you do for Luna, and like I'm really happy with like how you manage everything. It's really exciting, kind of like to be here to like witness it, and it's like it's cool that it can all happen under like one roof, like my business and your business of raising a family. I'm like kind of like like I don't know, like it's cool to I feel like I got a lot of like good bonding time with Luna, because like throughout the day I don't get as much like bonding time as you do, so I think that was like good for us in our relationship. Kind of like looking forward to the next baby when I can do that again.
Yeah, Forrest like improved like our house like so much while he was like the stay-at-home like dad for like two weeks or whatever. Like I felt like he was like doing better. He was like better at it than I was, because he like cleaned up our like laundry room. Like it was like really...
There were just like a lot of like little like things throughout the house that were kind of like nuisances that I like targeted every day until they were like
he took Luna on
completed.
like lots of fun like adventures. Like while like it's like I don't do that. I don't do as much as you did.
Well,
like
you're also like pregnant, for like for the past like 6 months you've been pretty pregnant. So
yeah, that is true.
Now that you are not pregnant, you can start to take her out more and do more things with her.
Yeah, but now I have a newborn.
Yeah, but you can leave him with me.
What?
Yeah, leave the little man. We'll put him in the bassinet. Oh, that's the other thing I want to get at Target tomorrow. I want to buy a new bassinet. So he can hang out with me down here in the studio while you and Luna go do something. I think that'd be good for you guys.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Because all he does is sleep anyway. Just give him a good feed and then take Luna to Target or something. Or take her to the park.
I could pretty much leave him for like an hour and a half at a time. Yeah.
And then it'll be good. You can get you some outside of the house time. It's important to bond with Luna right now too, because she's not getting as much attention as she used to. So it's good to give her that extra little bit, because she loves you so much and she misses you.
Aww.
Yeah.
I miss her too. I hung out with her all day today.
That's good. Yeah. Things are kind of getting back to normal. Like I animated a shot today, a big shot. And so I was away most of the day, and Alyssa was taking care of the kids. Yeah,
River is like, it's just really easy right now because River just like sleeps like 90% of the day. It's going to get more challenging when he's like 2 months old, like when he starts being awake more and like needing more attention. and like stimulation and stuff. Because yeah, like right now, like he'll wake up and just like want the boob, and then he'll like eat for like 20 minutes and then just go right back to sleep. And then I can just have and during those like 20 minutes, like I can just have like give Luna her iPad and she'll watch like Toy Story or something.
Yeah, she loves Toy Story. It's like her favorite movie series. She's seen them all, even the short ones.
Yeah.
Which I hadn't seen before, but I've watched them now. And Toy Story of Terror is pretty dope. You guys should check that one out. It's on Disney Plus. Yeah, what else have we been watching? Any other suggestions? We should probably cut it off here soon, but what do we just finish? The Boys?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I freaking totally like didn't even think to talk about The Boys.
Yeah, The Boys.
We finished The Boys. It was amazing.
Season 3.
It was so good.
Now we have to wait like another year until the next season starts coming out week by week.
I literally think about it every day. Like we haven't watched it in like a few days because we finished it like last week or something, and I still think about it.
Had a big impact on us. Yeah, it was good. It was intense. Like
I got emotional thinking about it earlier today. Like I literally started tearing up thinking.
Oh my
about,
god!
Like,
I keep watching these
scene.
Pixar movies with Luna, and I keep tearing up.
Oh my god!
They're like
I had
gut
a full
punches.
I had a full on like cry today
Over Toy Story 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. When Andy gives Woody away.
I mean, that whole scene of him like giving the toys to Bonnie, but just that one particular part, like he was kind of like trying to hold on to Woody.
Yeah.
Like he like gave her all the other ones and like left Woody in the box, like he wanted to keep him because he's like his special one. But Bonnie saw it and she like wanted it, and like Andy kind of like held it away from her at first. Like she like reached for it, but then he was kind of like, oh, like I should just give it to her, and then like he did, like he handed it to her, and like it was just like really emotional.
Another good series on Disney Plus right now is the new ILM documentary. It's like 5 or 6 episodes, and it details Industrial Light and Magic's, the VFX company that George Lucas founded, their early formative years through the present. It's pretty dope. I watched it while I was working, but I'll probably watch it again because there's some stuff I probably missed. And then I've also been listening to Bob Iger's biography, I guess. Or is it, when you write it about yourself, what is it?
I think that's like an autobiography.
Autobiography? Yeah. So it's this, it's called The Ride of a Lifetime. Lessons learned from 15 years as CEO of the Walt Disney Company. So it's kind of all in the title right there, but it's a really good book. I'm almost done with it. It's pretty sick. And let's see what else. Oh yeah, we've been watching American Vandal on Netflix.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, American Vandal.
That's so
really funny.
Like, yeah, like I think you showed me like the first episode like a long time ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know what happens. Like it's my first time watching.
Yeah, I think I showed you the first episode like a couple years ago, because I've seen the series before, like when it came out. Mm-hmm. But it's super funny. And yeah, I think we were probably high or something. We just didn't finish it, but I think we're gonna finish it now because like you really want to know who.
Yeah,
like,
I'm like super curious.
Yeah.
Did Dylan draw the dicks on the cars? It's just like it's just so funny. 'Cause it's like so silly, and like but like they keep like. It keeps getting deeper, and like there's like it's like so many like old
like characters they keep introducing, like the whole high school and stuff. And like it's like a big conspiracy. Yeah, it's pretty dope. Yeah, it's like a really like really funny like kind of like format, and like the way it's edited is perfect, and yeah, it's really creative.
I keep like telling people to watch The Boys. Or like keep talking
watch
about
the
the boys and stuff just because
don't talk to me until you've watched The Boys.
No, literally it's literally like so good. Like I was like on the internet like looking stuff up about it or whatever, and like yeah, it's just like such a good show. People were saying like what
are people saying?
People are saying that like the guy who plays like Homelander like should get like a Oscar or something.
I don't think they have Oscars for TV shows.
Not like an Oscar, but like he's just like a really good actor.
He is really good.
Like
yeah.
And it's true. Like
born for that role.
Yeah, no, literally. And like Yeah, it's just like such a good show.
Have you seen him in like real life? How he looks?
No.
He
His
doesn't
name's
look.
like Anthony Starr.
Yeah, he
or
doesn't look like
something.
Homelander at all. It's so funny.
Yeah, like he's just so good at that. His whole like the whole thing. It's just funny because it's like he's like a horrible villain, but he's just like my favorite character just because he's like so like nuts. Like
Yeah.
like every scene that he's in, you're just like on the edge of your seat. Like, what's he gonna do?
It's so compelling. Yeah. Yeah, because you never know what he's gonna do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
He was like horrible. But yeah, I keep telling people to watch it, and like, but like people, just myself included. Like when I first heard about it, I was like turned off by it just because of the name, The Boys, and like I feel like
Yeah, it's a terrible name.
I wish it was called something else.
I don't know what you call it, but The Boys just doesn't sound good. Doesn't give you any kind of indication of what the show's about.
Yeah, and I feel like
Makes
it's
it sound like
turning
it's
away like
turns away a
especially
female
like female,
audience.
yeah, like women.
Yeah.
But it's a very like, I don't want to call it like a feminist show, but it's very like woman friendly show.
Yeah, there's lots of
There's lots of women,
female main characters.
Like, the main drive of the show, like what kind of like puts the whole plot into gear, is like the main characters like love of their like women, like of their like wives and like significant others.
That's
like,
true.
You know, like
yeah, Huey and Butcher. Yeah, both have like women that they're trying to
like avenge.
Yeah.
Or whatever, basically, and like yeah, like they're both like really, you know, yeah, just like committed, especially like Butcher, like he's like really committed to his wife, like even after, you know, he thinks that she's like dead and stuff. Like I don't know, like it's just like really like, yeah, like really woman friendly. Like I don't get like weird like misogynistic vibes from it like at all. And yeah, like Starlight is like a woman and she's like a huge character. Yeah, I don't know, I just feel like
I'm glad we finally finished it.
Yeah.
I was worried I was gonna get spoiled.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think that the Deep is my least favorite character.
Oh yeah, and like A-Train.
Yeah, well, I like A-Train because like he's like his story at least has more to do with like what's happening.
Yeah.
Whereas like the Deep is just always doing some like random like gross shit, like getting sucked off by like a octopus or like having somebody stick their hands up his like gills.
Yeah.
Or his gills
so
talking to
random.
him. Yeah, he's so random and just ridiculous. But yeah, the show's good. But yeah, that's it for this week, guys. We'll leave it at that. Check out the shows or that book if you are in the mood for some media, or maybe go knock up your girlfriend or significant other. You know,
Have
a baby while you're at it. Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you soon.
See you next time.